All right, welcome back to another episode of Graham's Network Lessons. I am still alive, even though it's been a month since I last posted, and I am fully capable still of experiencing pain and suffering. So, speaking of which, let's go into a in-depth technical series, start a new one. So, my last series was just kind of talking about myself and what my goals were in my career and using the new AIs that have been released to help me plan and go forward. So I'm finished that series up. So the next series I want to do is uh, looking at the results of this. So this new direction that I planned for myself, starting on that. So the first thing to know about this new direction is that my prior goals when it came to certification are now all revamped. Previously, my certification goal was to get my first expert level certification as soon as I could. And I tried to get the Juniper expert level certification in the service provider branch. And I took it, I failed it, and I never took it again. And it just always wasn't really like sitting well with me. So that's why I did that last series. Okay, so the insights I made were, yeah, it's really not the best direction for me to go to just continue down service provider because there's just such this broad world. So I made this list of desired certifications that I think make way more sense for me to go through and that I think I can knock off one after another in a more timely manner. I could get, two or three of these in the time it would take me to get one expert level certification, even for the JNCI ESP, which I most recently took and which I have a foundation to take again and might be able to take. The thing with that is my prior certifications expired, the JNCIA, the JNCI S, the JNCIP, those all are expired. So if I want to go and retake the JNCI ESP again, I got to start from the beginning and get that S, start with the A, then go to the S, then go to the P, and then go to the E. So I have to pass four certifications now, which so let's actually take a moment here and we're going to type in JNCIA and go to the juniper.net website. Okay, it's going to be quite a long moment because it's not really loading that quickly. And then what I want to look at is the certification tree. And I want to do this in a quick way. So if it's, here we go. So certification tracks. So let's click on certification. And then this here it is. This is what I wanted to look at. Okay, so now we can see we no longer have a just standard basic JNCIA anymore. I think they might have had that. I don't remember exactly. But when you first start, when you take your very first test, already you've got to choose which track you want to go down. And I chose, because I was working at an SP, this track. And I made it all the way down to the professional level. And I attempted to be at the expert level. And I don't know, like, I just got to be honest with myself that I feel like that was too much effort for too little gain. So if I'd go back, what I would do is knock off the because service provider, this sort of stuff, I feel like is this narrow niche, and I could be wrong about this. Maybe getting my G in CIESP would have been the best thing I could have possibly done. But just from what I saw on, you can go to like LinkedIn Jobs, you can. look at the job market, I'm just going to pigeon myself in this really narrow field and not be eligible for a lot of different kinds of job opportunities. I'll really just be hunting for that one big one at an ISP. And if I can't get that, then I'm out of luck. So if I were to go, so let's go back to my LinkedIn profile. And I apologize, I was not sharing my screen. I will fix that now. Okay, so now you should be able to see my LinkedIn profile here. And let's go back down to this uh, desired certifications list that I have here. So we can see I've got the Juniper DevOps, the Juniper Mist AI, and honestly, I feel like there should be some more on this. I think the cloud belongs on there. Um, Maybe even the security, but the thing is, Juniper is one of the many vendors. The problem I've been having is out of this deep blue ocean of options, which options are the best for me? And how I've been deciding that is just I'm at this side of the sea, so I'm going to focus on this side of the sea. But I think it's a better way would be which is the best side of the sea? How can I get to that side of the sea? And the side of the sea over the fence is always bluer. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's just so many deep, in depth options to go into right now. The most exciting one for me, I will say, is this Mist AI, because I think AI, and this is one thing you need to be careful of too is when they say AI, do they mean artificial intelligence? Do they mean application application intelligence, which could be some sort of unrelated kind of like management concept. It just gets so jargony and it gets so removed from what is actually intended to be talked about. Sometimes you really do need to check that. But we can see here machine learning, that's a part of AI. So this is clearly standing for artificial intelligence, even though artificial intelligence is not actually explicitly stated anywhere, it's just abbreviated as AI. So this would be a really good one. All the training for that I think is free. Yeah, so that'd be a good one. The other one would be Microsoft Azure. Uh, so um, I'm going to use this video to organize all of this. It, I'm going to include in the description this link here. I just want it to be as clear to the people watching this video as possible what the different kinds of paths there are that are laid out for you. And I want people to spend as much time as possible moving towards that path and as little time as possible choosing the path. So I just want to have it all here ready to go and then just pick one, whichever the heck one is interesting, and dive into that. So here's the one I've picked for myself. The LPIC I think is a really good choice. CCNA is probably a good one as well. I started there, but the thing is with how much the certification program has changed, I feel like and I feel like when I was studying for my NCORE, which is like now the equivalent of CCNP, a lot of it was no longer like what is the boot up process of a computer, what is memory, what is CPU, what are Linux run levels, really important foundational concepts to apply to all kinds of systems. It's more like what is the Cisco application centric service agreement contract. It's like, well, okay, if I'm selling you a Cisco product, that's probably important to know. But like, if I'm implementing a professional IT skill set, what does it matter the Cisco DNA Center, policy menu? And then the other thing is, a, a lot of the times when you actually get a chance to use those kinds of products, they have a uh, help integrated into them. Okay, so uh, okay, here we go. So here's the equivalent thing for Cisco as we saw in Juniper. I hope, unless they're going to make it really difficult, more difficult than it was for Juniper, which was very difficult. No, okay. So nice and easy, just like for Juniper. We've got all of our technologies here, and then we've got all of the certification exams that are offered. So lots of overlap. There's DevNet, there's CCNA, which is probably a good place to start. Looks like a lot of things now start directly with the CCNP. So something like the security service provider, these might be a good place to start, or a good thing to focus on, because then you're only one step away from the CCIE expert level exams. I believe will go a really long way. So being only one, being able to work on that right away as soon as you completed the prerequisite, which is only one test instead of, as we see here, one, two, three prerequisite exams for an expert level exam. It looks like even in the design, there are actually no prerequisites for getting an expert level design certification. So yeah, this one might go on my radar as well because um, it looks like the only prerequisite for this exam, which is at a expert level, which in my opinion would go a very, very long ways, is the written component of the exam. So you don't need to take a CCNA first, a CCNP, and go through uh, this whole track. You can just work directly on the certification that you want. Okay, so yeah, that's good to know. I'm going to include in my links here this so that you can see that. I'd like to yeah. So here, let me just in a URL. What symbols can I include to highlight a portion of a web page? Okay. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. Okay, and I want this to just go right to the relevant section. So hopefully this is the first instance of the term technology, but yeah, okay, that was kind of a long shot. So collaboration is probably going to be the first instance. Nope, unless I spelled it wrong. Okay, yep, I spelled it wrong. before, which is good news that I can use that. Yeah, so this will take you right to the relevant section of the website. Um, the yep. Then let's see if okay. So see if I can include this here. No, I would not like to open that link. Okay, here we go. Perfect. Yep, now this takes you directly to that table. Really important things to know. You got to know, especially since everything is all different. When I took all these exams, the it's increasing exponentially the actual tracks that are available to take. And I wish there were a like a easy way to show that. Let me check with ChatGPT. So explain how the Cisco CCNA certification program. Explain how Cisco certifications have changed over time. Yeah, so there's more tracks, there's more levels within the track. Um, there's now a modular approach, which is kind of nice. The Juniper certs don't have that. Uh, there's an emphasis on automation, which is good, keeping up with like what's relevant. There's a CE program. There's more options for recertification. Um, Obviously, there's going to be changes in the actual exam format. Yeah, more opportunities to be really specialized. So yeah, it's changed quite a bit since I've done it. So just keeping track of all the changes is its own challenge. Okay, so the other thing I'll post is uh, the LPIC. So this is the learning materials. I'll just post the yeah, the main thing here, so you can see all of the kinds of certifications that are available. So I'll find a page for that. Yeah, summary of certifications. Yeah, here we go. So this is what I'm looking for. All right. So that knocks off the LPIC, which is my desired certification. That's my number one. These are kind of by priority a bit, but perhaps not as so much. Cisco DevNet, that was part of the table of possible Cisco certifications. This is another big one. I see a lot of opportunities for that. So there is a uh, cert available for that. I think that cert would go a long ways just because of all of the postings I see for that. So I'm going to include a uh, link to that. Okay, I guess I'll just include this main page because I'm not sure if they have a actual grid like they did. This is a very specialized cert. It's for I'm not sure if they have the same kinds of technologies and specializations as a more general. broader networking company like Cisco would have. From what I understand, Palo Alto is more narrowed in scope when it comes to the kinds of devices they manufacture, in that they focus more on security devices like firewalls, whereas Cisco is known for routing and switching, although they do also produce security devices for just about any networking situation. But Palo Alto, from what I understand, primarily produces firewalls, and whatever else they produce typically lies within the scope of network security. All right, so here it is for the for that. Um, so the next one on there, Juniper, we saw that. Here's a big one, Microsoft Azure. I see a lot. This is another one where I just think there's a lot of potential for this. Cloud computing, that's been big for a while. It's continuing to remain big. The other thing that's really exciting about this for me is Microsoft has been part of this AI arms race, in that they released ChatGPT 4 for Bing, and it was the first instance of ChatGPT 4 being offered to the public. So, in my opinion, a computer application like Microsoft Azure is going to be at the forefront of this AI arms race. And that, in my opinion, is the next big wave in technology. So being a part of that, I think it is would be really, really career boosting. And Azure skills in Azure and jobs in Azure could potentially be integrated with these enhancements and offerings with AI. Okay, so let's go to, and now I do have this pre bookmarked here under my certifications. So here it is, the Azure Fundamental Cert. I wish I could get like more of a grid like I had before, but uh, it's oh, it looks like I can if I go back here. Okay, yeah. So now you can see it by more like where you want to go through. It's got all the popular ones listed. You can renew for free, which is huge. That's huge. So yeah, we can see Cisco is just one. Cisco CCNA is just one of the options you have. Back when I first started, that was also the case. There were more options than just the CCNA to start out, but the options were much more limited. There were things like CompTIA certifications, Network Plus, which I believe was a CompTIA certification. There weren't so many different options offered by so many different companies the way there are now. There were only a few. So, in my opinion, picking the right one is more important now than it really ever has been before. And I think before, you really couldn't go wrong if you just went with a basic CCNA. But now you might be missing. First of all, there's no such thing as a basic CCNA anymore. You have to pick a technology track. And second of all, you really need to get on those waves with technology trends that are going to keep growing. And unless you can find yourself a very good, profitable niche where you're doing very well in, technology trends that are going away are probably not uh, don't make a lot of sense to focus on right now. Okay, so I've got my list of certifications that I desire. One of them is being trained in Azure. So I've got that link here. Let's look at the next one. So the next one is Cisco Meraki, which is something I see all the time as well. Now this one is interesting because if we go to the Cisco certifications, there is no wireless. There's nothing for Meraki on here. So here we go. So yeah, so it's an additional training program. So it would be the Meraki multi-cloud specialist cert is what you would be going for in this case. So it's its own separate, um, yeah. So this is like a cloud offering by Cisco, almost like something like Azure or AWS, but instead it is Meraki and it has its own cert program. But that is covered uh, there, so that's an option. The other thing is PMP, so that's like a management thing. I'm not going to include that on there. I think for me at this time, the, the most important thing is to continue down uh, my technical, uh, continue with technical progress. Okay, and then the final thing is AWS certification. Um, so there's a lot more than just this. I think the best strategy to pick where you want to go, which certifications your are on your radar, is to go look for which jobs are paying the most, have the best hours, have your best working conditions. If you're like me and you love working remote, which jobs allow you to work remote? If you're the opposite of me, a huge extrovert, and you need to work with people, which jobs will put you in these really great on-site conditions that you desire? Just try to get a sense of which jobs result in which sorts of working conditions and go for the certs that correspond to the working conditions you find most favorable. So kind of work backwards instead of starting and trying to get jobs. Starting with your training and then going and using your training to get a job. Start with the jobs that look the most interesting with you, and then go use your knowledge of those jobs to start your training. So for me, definitely my biggest thing right now is working from home. So things like uh, automation, DevOps, cloud uh, are I think good for that. Perhaps even like firewall security, like Palo Alto. That Palo Alto cert is probably pretty good. Uh, the other big thing for me is I want to just be a general technology expert with good fundamentals. So the LPIC, Linux, those basic skills are going to go a long way. So I want certifications that apply broadly to a lot of different areas and that hone in on fundamentals that aren't specific to any vendor or product. And then beyond that, I want certifications that are specific to vendors and products and are less broad and are more niche, but are in niche in areas that typically have the kinds of working conditions that I find the most favorable for me, such as working from home in sorts of jobs that uh, are compatible with somebody like me who really values getting good, consistent, high quality sleep night after night. So like working a night shift, working a lot of OT, uh, just trying to get a sense of which kinds of jobs those fall into and which kinds of jobs it's less common to see that in. So, and then a job's a job. It comes with its uh, rough patches. So yeah, okay. So I think that's going to be the end of this video. Uh, yeah, I'm still alive. I'm still here. And so alive and well. It's been a month since I posted. So yeah, I got something up. And stay tuned for yeah, stay tuned for the next video. I'm working towards the L pick right now, so you know what I can do. I can make my study public for that. Um, Primarily, what I'm using to study is actually Chat GPT. I paid the $20 for it, and I use it as my personal tutor. And then I go through the free and public materials that are published by LPIC itself. So I can. There's no reason I can't make that publicly available for anyone to be inspired from. So yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.